Okay, so we've created a website, we've hosted that on Amazon S3, we've created a CloudFront distribution, we've purchased a domain name, and we've got traffic directed from that domain name through to this CloudFront distribution. We've got HTTPS encrypted traffic, and we've created a SSL certificate using the AWS Certificate Manager. And yes, we've done quite a lot, so give yourself a pat on the back if you've come this far. And we're just going to finish up with talking about another feature of Amazon S3 that is quite handy. If you've got multiple domain names and you want them all to get redirected through to a single domain name. So for example, we've got backspace.academy, but we might have backspaceacademy.com, .net, .net.au, .com.au, .com.br. We might have all these different domain names out there, just in case someone types in the wrong thing into their browser. And we want those all to get directed through to our backspace.academy website. So what we can do is that we can set up buckets for each one of those domain names, and we can have that redirected through to whatever domain that we want. And we do that using the S3 website hosting redirection feature. Now what we need to do is we need to go into S3 to make this happen. So what we'll do is we'll go into this bucket that we had before, and we go into properties, and we go into static website hosting. And what we're going to do is redirect requests to somewhere. So I've just put in there google.com. And I just did that so that you know that it doesn't have to be a website that you own. You can direct it to anywhere on the internet as long as it's a publicly accessed endpoint. So I've just put in there google.com. So if I want everything to come into the devkid.com, it's going to get forwarded over to, or redirected over to google.com. So I'm just going to save that. Now if I go to this static website again and I click on that endpoint, it's taking me to Google instead of taking me to somewhere else. So the only thing we need to do now is to go into Route 53 and create a record that is going to direct traffic for our devkid.com through to this endpoint here. Okay, so let's jump into the Route 53 management console. So what I need to do now is I need to get the devkid.com. I'm just going to delete the A record that we set up that's going to redirect to our CloudFront distribution. I'm going to delete that one and recreate it. So create record set. We leave that the same. It's an A record still, but it's alias again. But this time, instead of selecting that CloudFront distribution, we're going to select our S3 website endpoint. What will happen is that when it hits that website endpoint, it's going to redirect all that traffic through to google.com, because that's the way we've got it set up. So just click on create. Once that's propagated through, we'll be able to do that. Now I've already done it before, so it should already have been propagated. So I'm just going to put it in here into what's my DNS, search on that, and there we can see it's come through. So if I go to that domain again, have a look, and there we go. It's redirected automatically to google.com. which is pretty good. Now we can do the same for the www. What we need to do to make that happen is that we need to create another bucket. So we've got our thedevkid.com bucket. We need to create another bucket called www.thedevkid.com, and then again we create the static website, and this time we would grab that domain minus the HTTP stuff, and we would copy that over into here, and we would put that in the C name, and we would get rid of that, delete that, and we would put that in there, and that will redirect that traffic through to that www. It won't, if you put the Apex domain one in there, it won't work. So you need to have one specifically for www, a bucket for that, and redirect that traffic using that here. So I'm not going to go into that because it's just extra work that it's not really going to add any value. It's all in the notes if you want to go through and do that bit yourself as well. So that brings us to the end. You have covered a great deal of stuff. So you now will have a very good knowledge of AWS, I'm sure. And Now it's time for you to download those lab notes, go through them very carefully and take your time, because there's a lot going on here, and make sure that everything's right. And hopefully you get to the end. If not, just drop me a question and I'll be able to help you out. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.